Hi, I'm Mike McCann. I'm with JaxCo Furniture, and we are Northeast Florida's most trusted furniture and mattress retailer. I'm here today with Miss Gloria Staats, Peace of Mind Designs, and I'm going to read a little bit of Miss Gloria's resume. This isn't everything, but this is a good start for our conversation. Gloria is a national award-winning interior designer locally serving Jacksonville Beach, St. John's, St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra, and Riverside Avondale, and virtually serving nationwide. She has a BA from the University of Puerto Rico and an MS from the University of West Florida, both in psychology. She is an interior design consultant who blends luxury and sustainability with a psychology informed approach. She is an expert psychological stager and a psychological color expert. We're going to come back to that.
Yes.
She is a member of the National Board of Directors of the Interior Design Society, IDS, and she was Designer of the Year for IDS in 2025. She is a member of RESA, the Real Estate Stagers Association. And last but not least, she is co-leading the collected and curated Hidden Gems and Storied Finds tour at the 2025 High Point Furniture Market that will be happening in just a week.
Yes.
So, Gloria, welcome. And
Thank you.
why don't you tell us a little about this tour you're going to
The
be?
tour. I love the tour. I love engaging and spending time with other designers, and I love that opportunity. I have a good friend who started the tour, I believe, one season before me, and I did the tour with her. Her name is Debbie Daly, and I was like, "Would you like some help? I love this." And I have some showrooms that we can go visit, and we can take turns. So we go to High Point Market, which you go to,
Mhm,
Mike,
mhm.
and there is where all the interior designers from nationwide and around the world
International,
meet
yeah.
to see other vendors and see what's new, see what's available. It's huge. It's a town.
Mhm.
So we have the opportunity to take new designers and even designers who have been to High Point before, and we take them to showrooms that they had never seen because they're off the beaten path. So we show them antiques, we show them unique finds. So it's a fun tour, and our sponsors, Mydoma and the IDS, are sponsoring us, and they actually have a trolley, so we're able to go around High Point in a
Okay.
trolley, which is
That
luxury,
is
as you
nice.
know.
Yes, you cover a lot of ground, a lot of
Yes,
steps. You get your
yes,
10,000 steps in High
yeah.
Point,
So
that's
it's
for
it's
sure.
it's a fun one.
That's
It's fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
How do you figure out which vendors you wanna go see? Is that something you kinda curate throughout the year or what?
Debbie and I, yeah, we talk about it, and it's sometimes there's a lot of repeats, but we try to change it. So there's people who maybe we may have seen in the spring and we may not see in the fall,
Mhm.
but we make connections with different vendors. I am very much about relationships. So if I have connected with a vendor that I think offers amazing product and service, I want to introduce them to other designers, and Debbie does the same.
Sure.
And we try to offer a little bit of everything. So we'll go see case goods and upholstery and art. So we try to, make it all well-rounded tour.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anyone specifically that you're really excited about going to see or any one thing that you're looking forward to at market?
Oh my goodness, there's a few. Yeah, but I feel like I have created long life relationships there. So
Yeah.
there is a lot of people that I just go see because I wanted to give them a hug.
Yep.
So I'm excited that this year I have a full calendar of not just vendor visits, but also educational events.
Awesome.
So I love going to High Point and seeing the speakers and seeing a lot of vacation rental presentations and other things, how to run my business and
Yeah.
how to keep improving my services. So
That's
it's
awesome. Yeah.
awesome.
It's a busy week. If furniture market, I go every year, twice a year in High Point. We used to do Las Vegas and Tupelo, and this is the only one we focus on now. It seems like
Hmm.
all the resources are there,
Yes.
and it's a busy week. I don't know how you feel when you leave, but I come out energized and like we're gonna
Hmm.
do this and we're gonna try that and we're gonna open this vendor and we're gonna redo this lineup and all that
Yes.
stuff. So
Yes. It's definitely something that I feel like if I didn't start going to market, I might not still be a designer because I feel like it just
really,
feeds my inspiration, but also the fact I'm a solo designer.
hmm,
So all these people are part of my team now.
yeah,
We connect all the
yeah,
time. We talk all the time. We're on Facebook and even phone calls, just connecting about where do I get this? How do
yeah.
I serve this client the best way? So it's awesome.
I think you're exactly right. We've got some folks in the industry that I've kind of grown up with, and their stores have been around for a while, and we do the same thing. Hey, who do
Hmm.
you use for this? What do you do for that? And that's really
Yes,
important, just that support network.
it
So,
is. I agree.
very cool. Well, So you have an expert. I want to make sure I say these right. So expert psychological stager and a psychological color expert. These are listed on your
Correct.
qualifications. So can you explain what those are, and then how these and this and design came together for you?
Absolutely. When I first started, I came into the interior world doing staging, and my background is psychology. So I was looking for a way to get more training in design and staging, and found the expert psychological stager. She's a good friend now. She lives in Nashville. Her name is Christy Barnett, and I love her. Shout out to Christy. Um, and so I did the training for staging with her, and it just changed my life because I felt like I agreed with all the things she said, and I had not thought of many of them before, but I learned how to use color, and not just color, but the right undertones and the color placement
Mm,
to bring your eye in a certain direction and not necessarily maybe take it away from certain directions because I was doing staging for
sure.
sale. Um, so that was lovely, and then learning which colors most human beings are attracted to and which colors would turn people
Sure.
off. So that was lovely, and then she created a just color training, and
So the second one is.
that's the second one. And then that one we really went in depth and we discussed more on of how to use color, other colors, because for staging we kind of keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're decorating for either a vacation rental or somebody's family home, then we go a little bit more personalized. And Yeah, so that those two trainings, I mean that become part of who I am
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love color.
So two things that came out of that. So number one, um, it seems like when we've worked with you a few different times now, you've got like almost like a signature. Like if you showed me a
Ah.
design, I'd be like, feels like Gloria's got her fingerprints on this right here. So I thought that was really neat. Um, and the other part of that is, you know, just to clarify, stager meaning like home staging for selling a home, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That's how I started.
Okay. Now, do you
Yes.
still do that?
I do a little bit. Actually, at the time I was doing it, I connected with a few real estate agents that still call me.
Okay.
And they basically am part of their team.
Okay.
So they call me. We do training with the real estate agents, and they offer me as a service for their listings.
Awesome.
So it's and I love working with them. They're a very caring team. They obviously want to present properties
Sure.
the way they. So I still do that, but I don't advertise it as much because I love the vacation rental.
I was going
So
to say, is that your main business? Is the
that's
vacation rentals?
that's yes, I do. I
Tell us
still
some
do
more about that. Yeah.
residential. Yeah. So vacation rentals. I love travel. It it's just selfish reasons too. My two sons are abroad now. I have one in Italy and one in England, and I have my mom at home. So I want to be able to do some remote design so that it
Sure.
keeps me available to go spend time with my boys, and they would kill me if they heard that I called them boys. But anyway, and my mom. So I'm growing the virtual design part of it, and then locally I just love preparing properties
Sure.
because I feel like it's a balance between interior design and hospitality, and
That's a good way to
you're
look at it.
not just designing, you're prepping a house to have guests.
Sure.
So I know you are very involved in the
Mhm.
furniture part, and your team is amazing at helping me with selecting the right product with the right dimensions, durability, and your delivery team is awesome. But you guys don't see the part when we're doing the pots and the pans and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the can opener and
Smaller
making sure
items. Oh,
all
yeah.
the kitchen is fully stocked, the
Sure.
bathroom. So it's literally turnkey.
Sure. Okay. I did not
So
realize that. I thought that you were more of just the larger pieces. I didn't realize you were going down to the utensils in the kitchen. That's awesome.
yes,
Yeah, that's
we
very
do.
detail oriented.
Yes, it is. And basically because I work with some clients that are not in town.
Oh, that makes
So
sense.
that when I'm done, when I say, okay, I'm done,
Yeah.
they're ready to
Literally,
take the
here's the keys.
take the listing live and start
Wow.
booking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
because we've worked with a lot of folks who are just independent folks who have, a vacation rental in Jack's Beach or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't think about a lot of these things, right? They just maybe
Mm-hmm.
had that from a house they moved out of, and it's like, well, I got some extra pots. We'll throw these in here together.
Yes.
And for them, they're usually coming to us for one piece. But to have somebody
Mm-hmm.
who's thought about everything down to a T, I'm sure is extremely helpful.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, and I will share in my website. If you go to my website, you can see, which I'm sure we'll share
yeah.
at some point. There is a checklist for vacation rental owners
Nice.
of the items that are suggested to have there. I mean,
Okay.
is there's choice,
Sure.
but they can go with that list and say, oh yeah, I never thought about that.
So
So
if I had a vacation rental and I wanted to work with you, I found found you on social media or the internet, where however I got a hold of you, and I say I need help. What's the process look like? How do we start and where do we go? And walk us through that whole thing.
any of my services starts with a discovery call.
Okay.
So we're going to book a call, and we're going to talk for 20 to 30 minutes about your goals and what you're trying to achieve with this project. Be residential, be vacation rental, and it could be even a staging, to list the property. So I start with that call, and that way I learn more about your goals.
Sure.
Are you planning to use that property part-time,
Mhm.
or are you planning to rent it all the time? Are you going to have friends and family staying there? And I'm going to learn a little bit more about the property, the location, the ideal guest, the how many people occupancy, and all
So
those
detailed.
things. Well, it's because
Needed.
it's an investment.
Mhm.
So I want you to get the return on investment. So if you're looking at a property, and we need to know who we're trying to target.
Sure.
And I also want to know if you're going to use it a lot and you want a personal touch on that property, then we're going to go into your favorite colors and what is it that you plan to do when you do stay in that property, all those things. So it's very personalized. And that discovery call allows me to learn all those things. And then if we decide to work together, I will send you also a questionnaire. So that allows me to learn more about what you love and what you hate and all the things.
So in
So
that first discovery call, is that a Zoom call or over the phone or
it
however
could be a Zoom call
either
or
one?
it could be over the phone.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. And is that a complimentary service? Is that a paid service? Or
No, the initial call is a complimentary
That's
service.
awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So somebody can really just decide, and you might not vibe
Exactly.
with them. in
Yes,
the
because
first.
it's not just me learning about you, it's you learning about me
Yeah.
and see if we vibe.
Well,
you
it's
know?
the same thing. I mean, we work with a lot of realtors and things like that too, and just in that entire industry. And there's just some people. It's like, well, we just don't gel. You know what I mean? That's
Mhm.
okay. That's fine.
Mhm.
We don't have to work together. But if you're on the same page, it makes things so much easier.
It does.
I feel like we've worked together a few times now, and I think we see eye to eye on almost everything, right? And
Yes.
so when you've got somebody like that, you can move faster, and especially if you're meeting
Yes.
deadlines. Like I know
Yes.
that is a hard thing for you.
Mhm.
So, how long does the process usually take? Speaking of deadlines, to take us from that discovery call to, here's the keys, and you're done with the project, and they're ready to get somebody in there for their first paid rental.
Okay. So
So it's a loaded
feel
question. It might be kind of different, but
no, it is. It's different for everybody and every property. A few of the properties I've worked with you, we don't need to do a full furnishing job.
Yeah.
And that's part of my initial visit to the property. I will determine, okay, I think we can keep the nightstands. We can
Yeah.
keep these lamps.
Yeah.
We can keep these things. Because definitely, again, it's an investment property. So
Sure.
you don't want to just throw everything out the window
Yeah.
if you can keep some items. And then at that point, I determine, I think we need new beds.
Yep.
Like this is a bed that you guys brought in for me. And this is the mood board I created for her. So we kept the nightstands. That's why you don't see the nightstands here. And but we brought in the chair. You guys brought this
chairs we're sitting
amazing
in.
chair.
Yes, the chairs we're sitting in. We love these.
Very comfy,
Yep.
durable.
Yep.
And we also brought in the bed. And of course, I brought with the team that came with me, we brought in all the accessories and all the things to make it livable.
It's
and
pretty cool
comfortable.
for us because we when we work together, you send us something like this is like, here's what we've got to work with, and here's what we're looking for a queen bed and for a chair and all
Yes.
that different stuff. So we get to see it from the mood board
Yes.
all the way through to the finished pictures, which we'll show. And
Well, and I think with your team, I shared this dresser
that's what I'm
because
saying,
it was
yeah.
something that was staying. And I
Mhm.
said, I'm keeping this. The
build
nightstands
around
look
that.
very similar. And you guys helped me find a product
Yeah.
that worked
Yeah.
with what they had.
I think it's no different than what we talked about it in High Point. Having those relationships is like, hey, I'm going to share some of my stuff with you. I trust you to help me and be
Yes.
reciprocal in that way.
Yes.
So very, very neat. This was I love this one because it's funny. We have these broad catalogs with 10,000 products in them.
Yeah.
And so for a different,
I
we know
think
where to
you
get our,
clicked-
we know
you
where to get
clicked
our
on a link.
purchase. Yeah.
So yeah, that is something that if the client is remote
Hmm.
and they want to purchase things themselves, a lot of the mood boards I share have a link.
Well, that's awesome.
So they're able to go, and if they have to replace it
Sure.
in the future, because somebody
Yeah.
brings a dog in the house
Especially
and they eat the
plants and
plant,
things like
they
that.
can
Yeah.
purchase it again.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. That's awesome. Was that the
Yeah.
finished product in the
I
next
think it's
slide
coming
there?
up.
We're buying artwork too.
Yeah, oh, that's too funny. Yeah, well, you're showing how the mood works.
So
work.
while we're looking at this project, can you tell us about like how this project went? We're obviously looking at these particular pieces. So before and after, and
Yes,
did it come out
yes.
like you wanted? And just tell
Oh
us about it.
yes, everybody was very happy with this project. Like as you said, we kept the nice stands. We got rid of the art and and what you can't see here very well is the property had the funkiest colors. Somebody loved them,
Mhm.
but we needed to get rid of them. And and I took one of my techniques that is we painted because the ceiling needed work too. We painted the walls and the ceiling all the same color, which takes these lines away from being distracting.
Did
And
you do
then
the trim as well? I've seen that a lot recently.
they no, not in this property. She wanted the trim to contrast.
Okay.
But I've done that
Have
before.
you?
Yeah.
We were at some
Yeah.
friend's house recently, and they had green floor to ceiling, and I was,
Uh-huh.
this looks so cool. It's so
Yes,
different looking.
it can
So
be. Yeah.
can
Yeah.
be, yeah. Not every
Yes.
situation.
Yes.
but
Well, it has to be done right. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So this is their bedroom, and I thought it turned out so cute and
So
cozy.
these were their nightstands,
Yep,
right?
yep.
And this was new artwork that you got for them.
Correct.
Think that was a new lamp, or did they?
No,
have
they had those lamps. I told her, they were not because she loves coastal. She
Mhm.
loves very light colors. I said, I think you might want to keep those lamps. They're big.
Yeah.
They actually have a nightlight within them. I said, keep the lamps. So usually, if she wanted to change them, I would have changed them. But
Yeah.
she trusted me, and then she said they look really cool. So
Well, I love this bed.
Yeah.
This bed has been one of our vendors. That's what I was saying. There's vendors who have 10,000 products, and so you scroll through them on the website, or I see them in a catalog, or I see them when I go to market, and because they show
Uh-huh.
almost everything set up. And this
Yeah.
has always been such a cool beachy bed, and we've
Mhm.
placed it a few different homes, and some friends of mine got it a long time ago, and it's just looks so good with the way that you put it together. So very
Mhm.
very
Thank
neat to
you.
see you place
you.
this particular one.
yeah, yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit, does every client, you kind of mentioned that you do some a la carte stuff, you let them keep some of their pieces. How do you decide what to keep and what needs to be replaced? Is that based on like high traffic items like a sofa or things like that? Or how do you determine what needs to be
Well,
kept?
yes. I think there's again a lot of variables
Sure.
there. This client is a second property that we do for her,
Mm-hmm.
so I kind of knew her style. I knew what she wouldn't like. So there were certain things that maybe I would have kept for somebody else, but I'm like, if you want that look, let's get rid of these chairs. Let's get rid of this, and then there's comfort and guest experience. So the beds, I don't know how they had been done, but the mattresses were overflowing the box springs. I said, I think we need new mattresses. And little things. You go into the room and you're like, I think I would want to sleep in a newer mattress. And so that was a decision there. And so that's I kind of piecemeal it, I guess.
How
figure out.
involved are your clients? Like, do they? Is it usually a lot of back and forth, or is it, hey, you tell them exactly what needs to happen, and they're just like, sure, I trust you, or like
Both.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Both. She is involved in the process, but at the same time, she's very good about trusting me. I think the first room we showed that I did the green curtains, I had started with soft blue, and she just straight up said, I hate that color. So I said, okay, well, let's pull a different color from the art. How about green? She's like, I love green. So we're ready to go.
Well, I was going to ask,
So-
has there been a time that you and a client have disagreed on some things, and had to kind of backtrack, or
I mean, I
work
feel
around
like
it?
that's where my psychology background comes in.
Okay,
So,
okay.
I feel like I take it as data. I take it as let's read it with her. We reviewed the colors again, and that was easy.
There you go.
And I think, I'm here to respect my clients because it's their investment.
Sure.
And they hired me because they respect my
Sure.
my insight.
Sure.
So it usually we make it work. You know,
Make it
it's
work.
not that often. I feel again with vacation rentals, I feel like it's not as personal as your own residence. So I have had clients that just tell me how much.
That's it.
They didn't even look at the mood boards. I showed the mood boards to the property manager because I said, okay, this is for that area. What do you think? She's like, I love it. They're good with anything. I was like, okay, well, let's
Well,
go.
that makes things easier.
So
Then,
yeah, so you know, it depends. Some clients want to be involved, and some clients are busy, and it's really an investment for them, so they don't want to
what do
be
you
part of
prefer
it.
as far as like being on your end of things and
Um, I'm good with both.
Yeah.
I feel like I can move a lot faster if we're not going back and
if
forth.
you just trust me.
Yes, yes. So we can move faster, but if you want to give your insight, is your property. So you know.
That happens
Yeah.
a lot with us in the retail world. We have people and they come in and they say, well, I want this and I want that and I want this. And sometimes I have to tell them in a very polite way, that doesn't exist. You're looking for a unicorn. And then other times they'll describe something and it's like, oh, we have that exact thing. And, you know, sometimes it's just a matter of communicating, like, here's what the options actually are. What you're looking for doesn't exist, but here's a great alternative right here. And
Yes.
here's another second option or something that's close to it. Maybe you can kind of, you know, wiggle on the color or the price or the, you know, something like that. You've got more options. So
Yes.
I know what those
Yes.
conversations.
Yes, like I remember having a conversation with a coach, with a professional coach, and she was telling me, you know, is you can't have the right price, the right time, and the right quality.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to pick two.
Right.
You know,
That's right.
So
That's
yeah.
right. So how does JaxCo Furniture come into this process? So we've seen the mood boards, we've seen before and afters. How, if from your perspective, how do we work together? What was that like for you? And you know, obviously we're doing pretty good because we're having a conversation. We're still on the same page.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So tell us a little bit about
I'd
that.
say first, I mean, after my discovery call and that consultation, when I go look at the property and we agree on a look, you guys are next.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say, you know, this is what I'm working on this property. These are the furnishings in you know, in many other cases that we're keeping. So I need things to play well with it. And you guys take it from there. You help me find the right furnishings at the right investment level, which
That's
you know
important.
I always share that with you guys. And then
Which is really important for us too, because we're on the same page. If we didn't trust each other, you shared the budget with us. Hey, we need to be at this for
Yes.
you know this and this room, and that helps us so much because I can pull 20,000 products and send you 100 sofas, but they
Yes.
range from $400 to $5,000, right? So you know it's very different.
Yeah, and I know I have shared with you guys specifics like no, she does not want any gray,
Yep.
or no, you know this is what we're looking for.
Yep.
You guys are very helpful that way, so it makes my job so much easier because I can concentrate on okay, I still need to go find some window treatments and rugs and all the things, and then. I love your delivery team. They're super friendly.
Our
They're
delivery guys are the
awesome.
best.
They are. They're really good.
We
And,
really got lucky with our guys, and
Yes.
we're very lucky to have them.
Yes, and they're lucky to have you, but yeah. But yeah, I feel like you guys definitely make my job easier.
Well, and I think
that
it's
way.
a kind of a reciprocal thing because when somebody comes in again, like, hey, I'm looking for this unicorn of a thing that somebody has never seen, but yet they're hoping we have it in stock at the right time. It's very different than when you come to us and say, hey, I need a sleeper sofa. It can't be more than 90 inches and it needs to be in white.
Yes.
Okay, I can go find that. That's a very
Yes.
tangible thing. So.
Yes, yes, and that's what we
And
have
that's
in
what we
this
have
picture.
here. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
we
Yeah.
added a sleeping space for this. This is actually a studio, and this is the TV viewing area. We moved the TV from that wall to the opposite wall so that we could fit the sofa. And once we fit the sofa, this is the sofa once it's opened. So she has both images in her listing so that people know that there is an extra sleeping spot right next to the bed.
That's great.
Yeah, so she said that she has a lot of guests that bring their children, so that works perfectly. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. With an acoustic wall, because
Okay.
there is a unit right next door to it, which is
Townhome
hers.
style, which is like right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did the acoustic wall, and it helps with the sound from one unit to the other.
No, we kind of talked about geographics when we first started, but where are most of your clients? Are most of your clients here in Northeast Florida?
Right now, yes.
Okay.
They're in Northeast Florida. I have a couple of virtuals,
Sure.
that's what I want to grow. But yeah,
That virtual
in this
business?
area.
This is something I didn't ask you earlier, but we were talking about virtual. Has AI changed the way that you do anything as far as your virtual consultations?
Probably not my virtual consultations, but it's funny because I use AI more in the back end. Um,
How so?
like like
If you don't mind.
for example, many times I do ask a client if it's okay to record a meeting. That way I don't miss anything. I can just sit here and talk
Sure.
to
Yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm not trying to write things down.
Yep.
So if it's recorded, I can run that recording, share it with
That's
them,
great.
create an outline. I can say,
That's a
can you
great idea.
please pull out, points that I need to address that are priorities to this
Yeah, yeah.
client. I mean, it's having an assistant.
That's great.
So it does. It does. I feel like it's made me more efficient.
Yeah.
And
Especially as a one-person team.
yes, yes. So it's like having an assistant. I've
Wow.
created different little assistants in my system,
Good for you.
and things like this. I might put an original photo and ask it to show me a paint color before. So if the client is feeling hesitant,
Okay.
like, oh, that looks darker than what I wanted,
Yeah.
because this color in a paint chip looks a lot darker
Oh,
than
yeah.
it shows in the property. So I can create some visuals just so that she can see things together.
Very neat.
Yeah. So I have used it a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid. I feel like it's,
I was gonna say,
we
I
have to use the tools that are out there for us.
for sure. Well, it's
Yes.
because everybody else is using them. So if we are
Mhm.
not, then we are falling behind. Right?
Exactly.
Other people are figuring out how to use these things very quickly and
Yes.
very efficiently, and
Yes.
so many of them are free or cheap, and there's no reason not to.
Yes, exactly. And then I mean I have a son, my youngest son loves creating and affecting his environment as well. And he's looking at properties, and then he's sending me AI altered images.
Ah.
Oh, look, mom, how this would look if I did this and that and the other. I said, okay, you would not be my client, because if you can do it and you want to move forward and do it yourself, that's lovely.
Yeah.
It's like my client is the person who doesn't want to do it
Yep. Yep.
themselves.
That's
So,
important to know who your client
Yeah.
is not, because that's
Yeah.
the same thing for us too. Like we don't sell certain sofas over an X amount of price point. That's fine.
Mhm.
That's not for us. There's other
Mhm.
stores who do that very well, and that's just not what we do. So that's important. That's important
Yeah,
to know.
yeah. And I mean, I think a lot of people are gonna love what I do, and some people don't, and those are my
Yep.
clients.
That's okay. That's totally
Yeah.
fine. Yep. We're good with that.
Yeah.
Well, before we go, we had some questions from Instagram. So how often should I redesign or redecorate my home?
How often? Okay. I feel like, again, for a vacation rental, I think you need to revisit it maybe every 3 years, and you
Okay.
might need to replace some things at 5 years. It depends
Sure.
on who your crowd is and how rough they are on your property, how much that
Yep.
sofa is getting used,
Yep.
and
Yep.
and all the things. So I would say 3 to 5 years. I think if you can afford to refresh your photos every 1 to 2 years, that also brings your listing
That's
up.
a good idea. Yeah.
And so that might require fresh pillows, a new rug, and whatever else needs to be updated.
Yeah.
I think in a home, um, I think a good quality sofa will probably last you a good 10 years.
Should.
But it depends on how much you want to invest now
Yep.
and how often you want to replace. So, again, tricky questions,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have
Everybody's
one
different.
answer.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of touched on this, but what's the easiest way to refresh an area without having to buy a whole new, let's say we want to keep our sofa, right? What's the best way to
Mhm.
keep that sofa in place and then make the room?
Feel different.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with paint.
Okay.
Paint first, and then, soft goods like a rug, pillows, window treatments. If you went with inexpensive window treatments, easy to replace. But if you're going to go with a good custom
When you say
window
window treatments, you mean curtains and okay.
like
Curtain rods and
blinds and
all
all the
okay.
things. If you went with something that is easy to replace, you can do that. But I feel like if you're going to go with something custom, that's why I really insist, if you're going to make an investment, let's make it timeless.
Sure.
So
Yep.
we can go with window treatments that are timeless, that you don't
Mhm.
have to change all the time, but
Yep.
then you can update the little
Yep.
things.
Yep.
Yeah.
My wife and I were talking about this just the other day. We have 2 young kids, and we have a big leather sectional, and I absolutely love it. And I hope that thing's in
Mhm.
our house for 10, 15 plus
Mhm.
years. But the fastest way we can change the look in our house is going to be to change that rug, and
Yes.
it's going to be to change up your end tables, like you said, soft goods,
Mhm.
pillows, throws, things
Mhm.
like that. So
Yeah.
I like that answer a
Yeah.
lot.
And with children and pets, I usually say,
Yeah.
myself included. Now I have 3 dogs, 2 of them adopted from my children. But I'm like, I can't have an expensive rug.
Yep.
So my rugs are inexpensive, and I replace them, because otherwise I just,
Yep.
it is what it
A
is.
very nice wool rug is going to be, it'll last a long time unless you
Yes.
have pets who are going to be,
Yes.
doing all kinds of things on that.
Yes.
Okay, this one may be really easy or really hard. What's your favorite color?
Um, it is a blue-green.
Blue-green.
I'm not
Okay.
wearing it today, but you probably
You've
noticed
seen it
it.
and seen it in your
Yes,
design. When I
yes,
said you had kind of a stamp for
yes,
your, I feel like you've always kind of, in all the times we worked together,
yeah,
you've got
yeah.
this kind of
See, like
color
this
palette.
right here is kind of like a
I
blue-gray-green.
love that dark blue. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's I like colors that you can't tell what color they are.
Yep. Kind of that
You know,
mixture of.
yes, a little. I think it adds a little more sophistication than when you go with pure colors. And so yeah, I love blue and green.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Being coastal here, I feel like we see that in a lot of different places, and that's kind of
Yes.
what I've grown up around in this area.
Mm-hmm.
It's softball for you. What piece should I invest if I'm just starting from scratch in my home, and let's say just a wide open concept of a home?
Mm-hmm. I feel like you live in your home, so I feel like you need a place to lounge and spend time with your family. So definitely the sofa.
Yeah.
And you need to sleep. So good mattresses and good bedding. And then you need to eat. So if you want to eat at the coffee table, you can do that. Otherwise, get a nice dining table and then build everything else around that.
Yeah. I like those answers because
Yeah.
we see a lot of people again for vacation rentals, things like that, and they're like, well, we don't need to spend anything on the mattress. And it's like, well, most of the time people are only going to sleep in these places, so I don't want to go really cheap on it. You can save some money, but you don't need to
Yes.
go like $400 on a mattress. That's
Uh-huh.
going to be the main piece of where people are coming to actually sleep in this place, and
Yes.
so.
Yes. Yeah, definitely for vacation rentals, I tell people anything that's going to touch their skin.
Ooh, that's a good way of putting
Because
it.
that affects the way we
For
feel.
sure.
So whatever I've sat on sofas at vacation rentals where I literally sank and slid, and I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm not sitting at the sofa, so where am I sitting? And so yeah, things that are going to make people feel cozy and comfortable.
I like it. I like it. Well, Gloria, will you tell us how we can get in touch with you? Social media, website, all that different stuff?
Yes. So I am at Gloria. No, I'm not. It's Peace of Mind Design on Instagram, and my website is peaceofminddesign.com. So yeah.
We'll put that all in where everybody can link it and find it to you.
Yes.
My name is Mike. I'm with JaxCo Furniture. We're Northeast Florida's most trusted furniture and mattress retailer. Gloria, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
This
you
was a
for
fun
having me.
conversation. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll see you at High Point in a couple
Yes,
days.
sir. I'll see you then.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Let's go
Okay,
back and talk
thank
about
you.
your award. Yeah, I completely forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I did too.
This is where we needed like our silent,
I need the voice.
yeah, a whiteboard click. I was looking for like a click or something. Okay, so is this where we start for here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Sure.
let's just start talking about it. We can figure it out. So, Gloria, tell us about this award you just won.
Yes.
So walk us through it. How did it come about? What did you do? And
Okay.
can't wait to see the finished product.
Yeah, so this award was by the Interior Design Society. They do a conference once a year, and they do a big awards gala. And I submitted this project, which was a home theater that I did for one of my clients in Mandarin. And we turned their
Whoa.
yes, we turned
I
their
never saw
their bonus room. Yes.
Wow.
So
There's
it
a whole
was
squat rack
yes.
over here.
I think that won me the award.
And there's a skeleton.
Yeah, seeing
Holy
the
cow.
transformation of a totally wasted space.
Oh, yeah.
And this has become such a family space for them. We have 3 tiers. We have a bar, and then we have a row of recliners, and then we have the sectional at the bottom. So we were able to do that because the room already, we kind of sunk, dropped into the room when you walked into
That's
it.
incredible.
And then there's the bar area. And this work, I mean, I was blessed with working with an amazing carpenter who did that work and amazing electrician who wired all the lighting to come through the wood slats.
So
that was a
looking at
statement.
that photo, so is that like a beadboard type of thing like we have back behind us here?
That
similar?
is individual slots. They were cut
And
individually.
then that's light coming through there?
Light, we put, light in between
Wow.
the lights. We thought about a product like this, but the problem was that we couldn't cut it at different lengths
Oh,
to
that makes
create
sense.
that. Yes, and these guys right here, I commissioned the art, and then I had it put on the panels by at one of my vendors at High Point who does acoustic panels. so they can do art on an acoustic panel. So they are an acoustic
Whoa.
treatment also.
That's
So
such
yes,
detail.
yes, it was so much fun.
Was that is that a projector or is that just a massive screen?
It's a big screen, but the projector, yeah, it's up
It's
here.
up on top?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
This reminds me of like a big, very, very old like organ with the different pipes,
yes,
heights, and things
yes.
like that. That's so cool.
Yes.
And that's the ceiling, right? That comes up onto the
The
ceiling?
ceiling, yes, because it was a bonus room.
Yeah.
You know, and it had
The
the
weird shaped ceiling.
the ceiling. So yeah, that's why literally I went one day with my client and we tagged every one of these little wood pieces where we wanted the light to go to.
Wow.
So that it looked the way he wanted it to look. Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
I don't have a movie room, but I would want mine to look like this.
They love it. They use it as a workspace during the day because it's very quiet in there.
Oh, sure.
And we had complete blackout from those window treatments too when they close. So,
And you won an
yeah.
award for this. That's,
Yes, I did.
that's
It was so
incredible.
exciting. It
well
was very
deserved.
exciting.
I mean, like
Thank you.
that just looks like a. I wish I was their neighbor.
Yeah, I know. And they do bring a lot of guests and friends there. They have a young son, so they have a good time.
That's one of the coolest things I think about what you do and like in our industry is like if you are doing it well, people are going to
Yeah.
show their stuff off. They're going to
Mhm,
show it off and say,
mhm,
"Hey, why don't you come check out my movie room?"
mhm.
That how
Yeah.
did you do this yourself? No, I
Yeah.
actually have someone who helped us.
And you carry the vendor that supplied most of that furniture,
alright.
Mo's.
so we
yeah.
could do some of that
Yes,
stuff.
you
for 'em.
could. Yes,
That's
you
awesome.
could.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yes.
Well,
So,
did we miss anything else?
all right. Thank you.
That's so good.
You are the most interesting.
Oh, thank you. You made my day.